Bill Burr, one of my favorite comedians, gives out some very bad advice when he's talking about whether or not somebody should kick their neighbor's butt.
Where them kicks at? Where them hands? Where them holes? Where them throws? You know what I'm saying?
This is the abridged version. Abridged. All profanity has been removed. This is the abridged version. Let's take a listen.
Here's a good one. Should I kick my neighbor's ass?
Yes.
Yes. Generally speaking,
We're gonna
yes.
go with yes.
Hey, Bill, love the
Is
podcast.
that what time it is?
I need some advice on what to do about this guy who lives in a few houses down from me. I'm a third-year college student, and I live at home. My parents moved to go live in the state above mine. You mean north? And I currently reside alone while they are trying to sell the house. A few months ago, I was driving home coming back from a gym, and while I was driving in my neighborhood, I saw this guy step in the middle of the road about 20 yards from my car. He was yelling something at me, but I couldn't hear what he was saying. I slowed down and stopped my car right in front of him, and he came to my window and told me to get out. I was totally confused and thought I ran over his cat or something. Also, I think he just moved in because I've never seen the dude in my life. So I rolled down the window and asked, "What did you say?" He goes, "I'm going to kick you out of the car." This guy's probably in his 40s and has to be around 5'10". Is this me? 250 pounds. That's not me.
No.
I'm 21, 6'3", 200. I do CrossFit and I wrestle occasionally at another gym I go to. So I get out of the car and I'm standing there trying to figure out what's going on. The guy starts moving towards me, so I take the initiative and take a step towards him. We end up being an inch from each other, and he's trying to do some alpha male staring at me. But I have the height advantage, so I'm looking down at him. At least 10 seconds go by before the guy goes, "How fast do you think you were going back there?" I say, "I don't know, probably around 30. The speed limit in my neighborhood is 20, and I know I wasn't going that much over it." Then he goes, "I'm not going to have my children playing in the yard if I know you are driving like that in the neighborhood." After he said that, I saw his wife and son were a little off to the side of the road. Once the word left his mouth, I wanted to just tackle him to sleep in front of his wife and kid to teach him a lesson. But I just apologized to him and said that I was really sorry and it wouldn't happen again. The guy then gives me a smirk and turns around and says, while walking away with his back turned, "It better not, or you know what will happen."
Oh yeah, you definitely should have kicked his. Yeah.
What a good! Do you realize what this kid did? Saw his wife and kid there. It would have been emasculating.
Yep.
His dad is Superman. He sits there. You know what it is? It's that little smirk.
Yeah, you should have kicked that guy's ass.
You know,
I suppose it's good that you didn't do it, but because you were
This
the
is-
bigger person, as they say. But he definitely has it coming.
Then he writes, "Now I wanted to explode." I mean, the guy totally disrespected me, so I get in my car and drive off. End of story. Wrong. I couldn't get this fly out of my head. Dude, I can't get it out of my head. I'm going to actually fantasize that I was there and he did that, what I would want to do. I've already, you know what I would, don't do this. But I know what you just want to get the guy alone and be like, "Hey, what are you going to do now? Huh? What are you going to do now?" And just get right in his face and have him back down.
Yeah.
Or I would almost just say to the guy, say, "Hey, listen, man," just call him over to the car and just say, "Listen, I just wanted you to know the other day that if I wanted to, I could have stuffed you in my trunk, tied you up like a front of your wife, but I chose not to." Yeah. And if for some reason, no, then that's what you say. Maybe do it like Columbo.
I understand the sentiment, and I've been in similar situations myself, where someone has come up to me and used what I did wrong as an excuse to be overly confrontational and disrespectful. Now, I am going to say this. When you are younger and the elder corrects you, even if you're an adult, unless you know for sure the elder is totally coming out of left field, you should just take the correction. Okay? Just sit there, take the correction, and move on with your life. And if you really did something wrong, don't do that again, or try not to do that again. But nobody's perfect. I do want to say I apologize for cutting like all humor out of the Bill Burr clip that I'm using. But, I have to do that because somebody may say, Mr. Cecil put something online that had bad words in it. And like they don't hear those words on a playground at school. I know. But anyway, I digress. My thing is not about being the bigger person. Not at all. My thing is you not feeling like you want to knock the guy upside the head. I understand you feeling that way. But what you need to think about is thinking about it tactically. First of all, as I was advised, if that dude is that big and he's being confronted by somebody who's like that, who is that unstable, him running out into traffic like that, to me, is him wanting to cause the confrontation. Because he could have very easily, if he felt that strongly about it, he could have found out where that kid lived. Well, he's not a kid. He could have found out where the 21-year-old lived. And he could have knocked on his door and talked to him. Or he could have sent him a letter. He could have sent him a letter. I know some people probably don't even know what those are these days. He could have sent him a letter, put it stuck in his mailbox, and said, I saw you were speeding. My name is blah, blah, blah. And I really appreciate it if you didn't, because I don't feel, safe. I'm just worried about my children being hit. And I bet you that would have came off a lot better. And you never know, that 21-year-old might end up being his friend. But the 21-year-old is not thinking that if he is that big and in that good a shape, as I was advised, when you're a big guy, nobody wants to fight you fairly. If that guy feels bold enough to jump out in traffic like that, like I said, not only is he mentally unstable, he probably has a knife or a gun on him. And your CrossFit and everything else is not going to help you when somebody's trying to poke holes in you with a knife or shoot you. Unless you're going over knife and gun disarms. But see, a 40-something-year-old man who likes to go around confronting people like that and feels like he can't back down from a challenge, either knows a martial art or he has a weapon on him. Odds are he probably has a weapon on him. Or he may know a martial art and have a weapon on him. Now, most martial artists aren't going to confront you like that. They probably would just find out where you lived at, studied you a little bit, and tried to see, do you think can I just talk? He looks like I could just talk to the guy. Talk to you or leave you a note. But when people act like that and then he's trying to posture and show off in front of his family, he's got a backup plan 9 times out of 10, and it's probably a backup plan that you can't handle. Okay, just because you're in your 20s, that doesn't mean, first of all, that somebody in their 40s can't put a hurting on you. But worse, if they know they can't put a hurting on you and you know they can't put a hurting on you, but they want to hurt you, they're going to try to put a hurting on you by any means necessary, which means by stabbing or shooting you. Okay. Now, yet another thing you need to think about is he will have his wife and son there as witnesses. And unless you got some good neighbors who are going to come out and testify in court, because you got to think about how this stuff's going to play out in court. Okay. They are going to be on his side. My dad was just talking to him and then he started beating my dad. The wife, my husband was just talking to him. He was speeding and he told him not to speed, and the evil 21-year-old CrossFit guy beat him up. And you better hope, and I'm not going to specify the colors, but you better hope that the colors of your skin resonates with the jury and the judge. Because if you're the wrong color for the jury and the judge, that's something else that's going to be held against you. And I don't care how much CrossFit you do, you are not going to CrossFit your way around people's racial biases. And you're younger and you're bigger. And even though he started it. Now, from what I've been reading with Andrew Bronca's books, some states have different you started, then somebody else can finish it laws than others. So I can't even tell you what you should do because, for one, I'm not an attorney. And two, it varies by state. So you have to ask your lawyer in your state just how bad that could be. So it's not about being a bigger person. I'm not even telling you this necessarily about doing the right thing. Even though I should, this is not about doing the right thing. This is about staying out of jail unnecessarily. Now, how I tended to handle people like that and still do. If he jumped out on traffic like that with me, I probably would have just drove around him. I don't even think I would have stopped, seriously. Okay, if I was dumb enough to stop, because stopping for him like that, that's dumb. Don't. You shouldn't. Just don't. Unless you think he's trying to tell me that there's a fire in the distance and I'm going to drive into a forest fire, no, don't stop. If you think there might be something wrong with your car and he's trying to warn you, you could drive a block away from him, get out of the car, then check around your car and see if there's something going on, and then get back in your car and keep going. Don't stop. That's engaging him. He should have just kept going around the guy. Okay? Don't even engage. If you do engage the guy, you know what? Just let him rant and rave and save face, and then just keep going. And don't dwell and don't obsess on it. You're not being a wimp. You didn't lose. What you did was keep from beating someone else up that you feel like you could take to not go to jail for assault. Or worse yet, you get into a fight with him and he finds a way to twist it and use deadly force on you, stabs you, shoots you. Because once you start grounding and pounding a person, I can say this. It looks like that's considered deadly force and people can stab or shoot you, even if they started the encounter. Even if they provoke the encounter, it's supposed to be a non-deadly force encounter, then you escalate it into deadly force, and then you get killed. Depending on your state and depending on your state, depending on, your judge and your jury, and if the color of your skin resonates or not with the people who are going to be judging you or prosecuting you, all that type stuff. So it's just best to just leave people like that alone, okay? And what happened to me personally, I was in the reserves and I sat outside of a center while I was being picked up. And I took off my hat, so they made me technically out of uniform. So a guy who was a higher rank than me came up to me just screaming and hollering, "Put a cover on that great Marine. You know you shouldn't take it up." And you know what I noticed is he had his hand behind his back like this the whole time he was yelling at me, right? And he was small and I was bigger than him. And I was like, I was really tired. I think we'd just been in the field or something. And I was like, I ought to just ball this guy up like a piece of paper and just throw him out with the trash. But his wife and kid were there. But he was like this. And I just had a feeling that he's probably got his hand on a gun. I was, like 19? I just said, you know what? What's the quickest way to end this? I just put my hat on. I said, "Yes, sir," sarcastically. I was like, "Yes, sir," like that. And just looked at him. And he kept, gesticulating and trying to intimidate me. And I was sitting down. And he finally stopped and left. And let me tell you something. So if that guy who wrote Bill Burr is watching this, you should have seen the look on his wife and kid's face. They looked like they thought that he was the worst person on earth. They looked like they were in total shock. And they did not bring it here. They know what they live with, and they know if their husband and father is just terrible. Okay? But if he's dead, or he might go to jail, they're going to take up for him, even though they know he's a piece of crap. Okay? That's just how people are. And right after that, one of the sergeants not in my platoon, in the company came. I think he was a staff sergeant. He came up and he told me, I thought he was going to tell me, "Yeah, put a cover on." He said, "Good job, Marine. There's something wrong with that guy. I've never liked that guy." And he started talking like, "There's something wrong with that guy. And I think he was trying to shoot you." And he said, "I'm going to make some phone calls about that." So, and I never heard from that guy again. I never saw him again. I don't know. Maybe his behavior was addressed. But you know what didn't happen? I didn't go to jail. I didn't get shot. And as good as my kicks were back then, I may be delusional. But if he pulled out the gun and then I disarmed him and then really went into combat mode, I probably still ended up in jail. It's the military, because he's not like he was an enemy combatant. So stay away from crazy people. Don't let your ego get up in a bunch. If you did something wrong, just take the correction, keep going. It's not worth it. It's not worth kicking your neighbor's butt. So thanks for watching this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. Please share this with people like to talk about the martial arts. Don't think I hate Bill Burr. I don't. I apologize for removing all humor from this thing, but hey, you know, I have to do what I have to do. Please share this with people. Help me reach 1,000 subscribers. And peace. And as always, thank you for your time. Peace.